My name is Ruben. I worked for since 1994. In 2006, I had an accident where I was hit with a forklift and my neck was broken. I was off work for 11 months, I believe, something like that. I went back to work and I couldn't handle my neck. The fusion didn't take. I had to go back in for another operation. I refused to go down. I went back because my pride was bigger than my common sense. I had to learn how to walk. First time I got injured, I had to learn how to walk. I had to learn how to shoot. My daughter, she had to feed me because I couldn't feed myself. I ended up in emergency several times. The second time I got injured, when I was released on February, is because I bent over to pick up a napkin and I went into a severe muscle spasm. And I was told that was it. Uncle says, we're through. We have to go. And so I was never allowed to go back to work after that. Our self-insured carrier was insurance. Had no problem with them paying the bills, had no problems with me getting my workman's comp. Somewhere in the middle, they decided to switch over to insurance company. And being in construction, being in the grocery business for years, I knew that as soon as they brought them in, there was going to be problems. And that's where the problem started. And that's where I had to come get a lawyer, and that was Mark that I ran into. They refused to pay the doctors. They refused to pay any medical bills, even though it was done by. And that's why we went to court for almost 4.5 years. And in that time, I wanted to give up. They had offered me my job back if I would drop the case and just go back to work. I know I worked with them. As soon as I walked through that door, they would fire me just as soon as I said, okay. They'd give me my job for a week if I was lucky. They'd find some excuse to let me go and I'd be broke. In that time that I was fighting with the attorney, I lost my home, I lost my car, I lost any and all my savings that I had. I cashed out my 401k to pay off some bills, and I ended up on food stamps. In 2005, I was on food stamps. That was at Grady. I grew up on welfare. That's how we survived. And I made a promise to myself I would never be on that system. I would help out, but I would never be in that system. It was no longer a process of fighting for the money. Had nothing to do with it. Had to do with letting them know that I was not going to give up, that they were not going to walk all over me, and that they were not going to take me down, despite where I was at the time. They ate my lunch. They did. They f***ed me up. I'm sorry. They did. They destroyed me. But, Mark helped me get through it, and I wanted to give up, but I was not going to let them win. And I'm glad that he stuck with me because I would have never done it on my own. He was honest. He never let me give up, and he encouraged me to go, despite the fact I had lost everything. I was living in a little trailer about the size of this table for 6 months with no food, no nothing. And I had to turn to the food bank at our church, and I turned to food stamps because of what the insurance carrier refused to pay. In the end, we won, but we won more than the settlement, more than the money. I want back my pride. When the verdict came out, we both cried, literally cried from joy because of all this. It was incredible what they put us through. Their intent was just to win at any cost. They didn't care about me as a person. And that was the difference. I was just a nobody, nothing to them. But to Mark, I was more than just a client. I was his friend. That was somebody. And that made the world of difference. And we both, when they came back, we both cried. We were crying, hugging each other, my daughter-in-law and I. Mark, it was amazing. And I knew that I knew where his heart was at, Yeah. I wouldn't have done it without him. Please tell him I said thank you.
I will.
I love him.